William H. Ferguson Jr. or Billy Ferguson or Billy Ferg or Ferg Dog.
I on social media, I see you like flash in and flash out, and I don't
Yeah,
know what is your current social media strategy.
it's minimal. It's minimal. I literally am. I still have a Facebook page like I'm a 75-year-old, and my girlfriend and Austin, drummer in my band, is like, dude, you gotta get on Instagram. And I'm like, well, okay. So it's basically just following things and laughing at them. I have
Mm-hmm.
no presence currently, but also like we're speaking now because I've been writing again, and so I'm this is something I'm gonna have to start getting into from the standpoint of promoting again. And I feel like Instagram is a much easier way than what we used to deal with from the standpoint of like MySpace.
Yeah,
MySpace was a clunky animal, and Facebook is a clunky animal compared to what we have now.
MySpace was great, man.
It was. It once you knew how we knew how to use it.
Yeah,
You and me.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like you and I did. How did we meet?
We met through MySpace.
We met through MySpace. But was it
Yes,
you and I texting each other, messing each other?
I
I think it
think
was you
so.
and me. I think it
Yeah,
was you and me. Yeah.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
I saw the profile and I was like, oh, these guys look cool. And I think you had,
And
you
same.
could pick like your top five bands or something, and you had Ryan
Right.
Adams on there and some other stuff, and I
Yeah.
was like, these guys look cool.
I used MySpace as that is the only tool that I remember using because I don't know who for you guys when you before you guys got signed, who booked your tours, but I did everything.
Yeah.
So like I would go through MySpace and there was a way to look up every band in a state,
Mm-hmm.
and you
Yep.
could actually like cycle through it. So I would like go through and listen to every single band in a state briefly, just click, 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 and then I would the guys that were good, I would message them
Yeah.
like, can we do like a swap
Yeah.
in case they might be on the road dogs like we were.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could do a little flop, and it worked
Yeah.
7 times
Yeah.
out of the 100 I tried. But the 7 times it worked, and y'all think y'all are probably one of those guys
Uh huh.
where like it reaped benefits and dividends more than I could ever imagine
Yeah.
when it hit. And that's why I kept doing it because I was like, well, that was a huge fish that we hung, and not just to get someone's attention, but also like to then make friends and become like kind of like bros with another band. It was like, incredible, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
We're not like that anymore. That I cannot imagine what it's like right now to tour right now in as a non-signed band,
I
right?
I think a lot of bands just don't now. I think
I don't think you
you
can.
just build it on social, build it on social. It's like I've been married for a long time, and I would probably equate it to like if something crazy happened and I would have to get on a dating app, I would just be like, I can't do it.
I'm the same way now. I mean, I've been
I
dating for
can't
so
do
long.
it.
It's like I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
I don't want to go
I
back. I don't
just
want to go back to that.
I would I don't even know what that does.
Yeah, I mean, and like that actually brings up a very interesting point for anyone who's listening to this, who's going to listen to this. Uh, when I met Josh's band, Tyler Reed, my band at the time was called Tuesday's Debut. I have a thing as a singer and a songwriter, always kind of bro down with the singer, and you were not are now. You were the most elusive of all of them, and it wasn't until later in our lives that you were like, man, I was married. You're a year older than me. And it was like I did not understand what that was like, but also like our relationship now supersedes it so much that like we continue to keep in touch. I keep in touch with you more than I keep in touch with anyone else in your band.
Yeah.
And those guys were the guys I was keeping in touch with all the time back then. You were
Hmm.
like the evasive one, which for me as a singer, and we're playing together all the time, like I gotta get in that guy's head. I gotta know what's going on over there,
Yeah.
you know. But we I remember a couple times we did it. You're like Billy, we just had a good kind of conversation, you know. And uh, I love the fact that you're still doing what you're doing. It's fun being back doing this again. I'm glad we're just sitting down having a conversation about it.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. And listen, Billy, you're always one of my favorites out there in the world. I hate, that perception of me. I think the reality of it is that, being married, I was always really worried about putting myself in the wrong place, in the wrong position. And
1000%. I understand that
yeah,
100%. But also, you have to understand for me that it wasn't really about, I wasn't thinking that way. I was thinking more or less just broing down with you and like the elusiveness of your brain,
yeah,
where like the songs are coming from. Because you're the guy. Now, for anyone who's going to listen to this man is just a very mild mannered dude. And I'm like that. I am what I am. But this dude has I'll flip a switch from the standpoint of the fervency of my lyrics or like how I'm going to sing them and how hard I'm going to sing them. This dude will put on a show for you too. He will do active things. He's going to actively, physically give you a show as well, which is something I never gravitate to. But those are the things that I was like, this guy who is so thoughtful and so introspective will then like go to this like physical state.
yeah,
And I see it now as like it can be an alter ego. Like there's that alter ego thing that I started to dive into, but I never allowed myself to fully dive deep enough into to be like, I can be this thing here that I am not in my real life,
yeah.
or I'm not in my normal life, my day to day, my 9 to 5. Now I'm not
Mm-hmm.
like burning buildings down, but I'm definitely going to rock out and give people a good show. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
hypothetically, we're gonna raise the roof. We're not actually going to remove the roof. Like it is. But you were that guy for me. I never saw anyone do it like you did. And for you to be close to my age, I was like, man, I need to get this sauce. But also, I'm happy with where I'm at. But I was like, I always want to know how you got to that level of like, ladies and gentlemen, and you will like tell us what we're about to do, and you would dictate terms to the crowd, and they'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That's a really interesting point, man. Performing for me has always, I don't want to say natural because there's a lot of moments and a lot of people that I tried to observe and I tried to watch.
Well, you have a song called "The Killer," so
Yeah.
you've obviously Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis, yeah.
But also, did you grow up Christian? Did you grow up in the church?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And did you see that? You saw like the pastor? He gives it to you.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
but it may not be that way. But you could fathom that. Maybe you didn't see it that way in your own world, but you understand that. Like I don't know. I'm curious.
It's interesting. This lady in New York who was kind of adjacent to a producer's lawyer or something. She said, "You're the rock and roll preacher man."
Yeah.
And I said, "Huh?" She's like, "Yeah, you're the rock and roll preacher man. That's who you are." And I was just, man, I just try to like. There's the music, and you let go of all of your like whatever the thing is that keeps you in check and keeps you a normal person. You just let go of it. You channel the music. You try not to think, and you just go where it takes you. And what happens is you putting that energy out there, the crowd starts to bring it back. And then when the crowd brings it back, then you give it back to them. You start to do this. The circle starts to like spin and spin, spin.
Yeah.
And it just gets going and going and gets going, and you just lose yourself in it. And that's my favorite part of performing. Is just like I don't want to think. I just want to be in this moment, and that's all that I did.
For anyone who's listening to this, I'm not as active as he is, but I have always described when I've played the biggest shows I've ever played in front of a room full of people. It's jammed, and I would get nervous. I'm like, oh man, all right, you gotta go. Tonight's the night. You gotta go. Let's go. And you walk in there, and there is no other way I could describe it as you walk on stage, you know the song, you know how to play the song, you know how to sing the song. And that first word out of your mouth, it's a roller coaster. And you're at the top of the roller coaster, and it goes chunk, and you're all along. I'm on a ride myself. I'm going. That's it. I am performing my thing. And let's all go for a ride. And it's almost like when it ends, I kind of blank out. I have snapshots of that night, but everything else is like I'm in. First of all, we practiced. Your band practiced a lot. I practiced a lot. So it was muscle memory to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
But when it goes down, you're like, that was incredible.
Yeah,
And there is, and I, it's addictive.
it
That
is.
feeling, the feeling of, it's the feeling of, I open my mouth because our first song would always be, I start singing. It's what's a four on the floor from the drummer, bop bop bop, and I sing, and it's over, and that's it. And I remember just being like, and you gotta, and I would come in hot. You come in hot on it. That first one, I come in hot. It's not a just light singing thing. I'm gonna scream
Yeah,
or shout.
yeah.
I'm doing a shouting thing, and it's so much fun.
Oh man.
There's any more fun than that. And for anyone who's listening to this and may have never played music, like that's to experience that or allow yourself to experience it through. I'm a shy person. I'm an introverted person, deep down. I had friends in high school who came and saw us play music, my band play music, and they're like, "I cannot believe you're doing this."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, like, I found myself later in life, but I was still very self-conscious of what I was doing.
Mhm.
So I wanted it to be okay. I wanted it to be good, but I have a very self-deprecating thing inside of me. It's just something I've had my whole life, and so it's never quite like, are you good enough? Can you do it? And when I would do it, I'm just like, I can do it.
Yeah.
I am good at it,
Yeah.
and it
Absolutely.
starts to you start to feel this like over time of like I'm okay.
Yeah.
I can do this. And it was something I was really happy with, and and then you could have like some critiques about yourself, but it was always very fine tuned. It wasn't like I can't do this. I'm not good at this. When I first started playing though, before I met you, our band, we were trying out singers. I was a guitar player. That's all I wanted to do. I did not want to sing. Didn't want to write music. We tried out singers, and they all flopped. And I said, "All right, here's the deal. We all got to try to do it ourselves. All right." And I brought this up. Everyone's writing a song or writing something, and we're all going to sing or like play something so we can all hear who's got the better voice.
Gonna audition the
I,
whole band.
I roll in, I roll in, I do it, and they're like, "You got it." I'm like, "Where's y'all?" They're like, "You got it."
You went
And
first, and you were picked.
there is our first EP or like kind of pseudo EP, which does not exist online. I have it in my car right now. It's bad. It's very bad. It's very, very bad. My voice is not good. I remember telling these guys, like, I am not a good singer. I'm not good at this. Like, yes, you are, man. Just keep going. I had the best sounding board of anyone I've ever had. The drummer, the bass player, and the other guitar player are like, keep going, man. You're good. And I was not, and I am not good. I could still, to this day, I'm listening. I'm like, I was onto something, but melodically, no way. But those guys kept me going, so that by the time I meet you, and we're doing that Tuesday's debut record, I had gotten to that point. I could not sing like that. I did not. I could not. I could sing to something that existed, but to make up my own thing, it was willy nilly.
Yeah.
It was willy nilly. I'm all over the place. I'm very pitchy. I never would have reached that point. So anyone who's ever like, I can't sing, yes, you can. Just keep practicing, but actually just try and just don't ever say you can't.
Yeah.
Just at least keep trying because there's some place that you can fit. It may not be the sound you want to hit, dude. Do I wish I could hit all of Brandon Boyd's lyrics from Morning View? I mean, that's what taught me how to sing. Was like Incubus, the self-titled Third Eye Blind record. Like Thanks a Lot, Graduate, Semi Charm Life. I mean, that's where, and then Jimmy World. Those records were like my bread and butter on what I could hit and where I could get to.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't always get everywhere they go, but I know where I can go, and that's what's great now is I know my voice, and you do too. I mean, I know you do too. You know where you can go.
Well, and listen up. Number one, I'm glad that those guys encouraged you to keep going because I think that was the right move. I loved playing with you guys, and I love the music that you made. I thought that, I mean, there were some of those songs that I would just jam out to on the side of the stage. But what I was going to say is that sometimes I think it's even like you need to. It takes the right song to sing. I mean, there's so many.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that's exactly right. That's exactly
like,
right.
It's like you're writing, and you're just like, man, I just don't sing. But then you write a certain song, and you're like, I was born to sing this song.
Now let me ask
I
you
can
this.
sing this song.
Speaking of that, do you feel like do you write? Have you ever noticed that you have a key that you sing in better than others?
There are keys that I sing in mostly, but a lot of times here's what's weird. When I'm writing a song, sometimes I will like swap out singers in my head to get the melody
Yeah.
going. So like I'm hearing something and I'm like, I'm gonna just plug the Muse guy in and I'm just gonna let him sing it in my head,
Uh-huh.
and then I'll take him out and I'll put in, like you said, Jimmy Eat World or Sturgill Simpson,
Uh-huh.
or and in my head,
Uh-huh.
like, to develop the melody, I almost just use a different singer in my head to flesh it out.
That's actually a really good idea. I've never thought about it like that. I always think about it where I start trying to octave it down, or I just take the capo. Like I'm a capo guy, so it's like if it's capo one, I go capo three, I go capo
Mm-hmm.
five. I just start moving the capo around, playing everything that I was already playing,
Till it hits.
regardless of it. Yeah, till it hits. But
Yeah.
you're right that what you're doing is kind of the same thing. And I'll go down an octave, and it's never right. It's like where your voice and my voice, we push ourselves into the. You're in that air when you're singing hard, and I think when you're singing in your normal voice, and I am too, where we are like projecting. We're
Yeah.
projective. We project.
Yeah.
We don't sing quiet,
Right.
and I have that voice, which is something I've really never like. Now, with the Mag Sun stuff and Tuesday's debut stuff, which I was doing, like I've been playing with my brothers over the last couple of years with Angola Rodeo, and I have started exploring like that voice, like the quiet, where I'm like, I'm gonna get a large condenser microphone, I'm gonna sing into it quietly,
Yeah.
like kind of get that feeling of like airiness
You
that
want
I've
some
never
some
had a song written like. Like, we've never
Phoebe
written songs like
Bridgers.
that.
Get
Yeah,
some Phoebe Bridgers in there.
uh, I'm a big Kurt Weill fan, like kind of folk stuff, but also still kind of poppy folk kind of stuff. Like another band that's incredible, Pine Grove. Like that band is incredible for like this almost Counting Crows slash emo Counting Crows thing with mixed together, and I love that stuff. Um, but like sometimes you can just when I'm singing, I sound like I'm back, and I always double the vocal when I'm writing. I love that punch, but to just sit into a microphone and just sing delicately, single vocal, what a incredibly nice and intimate experience that I've started trying to kind of like introduce myself into, which I've never really done because I've always just been a rock and it's just rock, let's tear the roof off.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it, because it's for me it's harder to control my voice that way.
Me
And
too. Yeah.
yeah, and so when I'm in the house and I'm like singing, my wife goes nuts because I sing so loud. I mean,
Me too.
that's how it comes out. It just comes out loud.
It comes out loud. It's like I am not dying. So my girlfriend, I'm like, I'm not dying. Everything is fine. I'm not mad. I'm just trying to write some songs. And
Yeah.
it takes it because you'll write an idea in your head, right? You'll start thinking of a melody in your head, and you'll kind of hum it. And you kind of know where the melody's at, but you don't know where the melody's at fully until you belt it out.
Mm-hmm.
Until you gotta let it go.
Yeah, it
And
feels strong.
that's when you know, like, oh, I can switch this to this. But you have to do that a lot
Yeah.
for it to feel comfortable and to feel right.
Okay, man. So Tuesday's debut converted to Magnolia Sons. First
Yes.
off, you guys are based out of Lake Charles, Louisiana.
That's correct.
Had a great run, put out a few records, and man, was just a great band that I really loved playing with, touring with. You guys haven't been doing it for quite a while.
Right.
Life comes and happens like it does to many. But tell me about you, because the last time we got together, I was asking you, I was prodding you, like, "Hey man, you're writing, you're writing, right?" And you were just like, "Nah, not really." And so here lately, something's flipped. What? Tell me about it.
Yeah, man. So I'll back up just a little bit. Uh, After the Mag Sun stuff ended, we changed the name from Mag Sun or from Tuesdays to be to Mag Suns. We just thought it sounded better. Um, we have 12 songs recorded, 6 to 6. So I started writing like once I went to grad school. I work here in Houston now. I live in Houston, Texas. Two of my brothers live here now, so we started working on some like kind of alt country tunes. The name of the band's Angle Rodeo. We have an EP on Spotify now. We're working on another one now. Um, but to go back to that, like post that EP, I got worn out on music. I remember just like this is in 2016. I'm worn out. I remember just being like I think it was probably playing with brothers. I don't know, and I love my brothers, but it was just reaching a point of like just feeling inadequate again in music, which is hard. When that inadequacy hits, where you're like, man, I'm just not doing great at this. Uh, and I just put it aside for a long time, from like 2016 until recently. And 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, my dad passed away, and he was like a. It's interesting because he wasn't like a huge fan of me playing music at first. He was just like, "What are you doing?" Because I didn't have a job. He's like, "You need to like get a job. You're a bum." And I'm like, "Come watch us play." And he and my mom, who do not drink, came to a smoky bar and watched us play at Rick and Jack's, where you've played multiple times with me. And they were like, they never said anything else about it again. They saw I was trying to do something. They saw that I was. They were like, oh, they're actually trying something. This isn't just some silliness. Um, but after he passed away, it had been like a couple of years. I mean, since I picked up the guitar, I even tried to write a song. And after he passed away, and I don't know if anyone's listening to this who's ever like had loss in their life. Like, he was like the first major loss in my life. Uh, I had dreams about him regularly, like for like the first 6 months, like probably 5 or 6 very vivid dreams, and the dreams started the same way every time. Didn't matter where I was or what the dream started as. He pops around a corner, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "I thought you were dead." He's like, "I'm not dead." So in this last particular dream I'm talking about, which is what you're thinking, like, is I'm I'm at a venue, or I'm at a park in Lake Charles. We're gonna play a show. He pops around an oak tree, and he says, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "What are you doing here? I thought you were dead." "I'm not dead. You excited about this show?" Said, I had no idea I was playing a show. He said, "Well, this is how you remember." And I woke up in the morning. I woke up from that dream immediately. I had a bad time with that emotionally, right? That's a hard thing. But I picked up that guitar that day, and I've been playing the guitar every day since then. So it it shook me out of whatever mental, like I'd created a situation in myself where I was like, I can't do this anymore. And that dream in my what I took for that is like, yes, I can. I can still do this now. It won't be what it was, but it can be what it is. And what it is now is just I have never felt better in my life than when I'm creative. And could I maybe pick up a camera and start taking pictures, or maybe pick up a paintbrush and start painting? Sure, but I can play the guitar. So let me at least try that first, and it feels really good. And I've spread this gospel to the old members of Magnolia Sons, and they're back, and we're writing again. And my brothers in Angola Rodeo, I'm writing with them, and they're more, but that's more country based, so it's kind of fun for me now. Where Magnolia Sons was a that was almost our it was Tuesday's debut doing like Tom Petty, right? It was our like Tom Petty kind of Americana thing, which we've said to ourselves we're not going to do that again. We're just going to go back to kind of doing the Tuesday's debut thing like we did before. But now I can kind of live with this like Americana country thing with my brothers, and I could write very different songs in very different ways with two different groups, and to have that feeling is great. And I think for a split second there, I don't know if you've ever had that, Josh, where you're like you felt like I wasn't doing anything. You weren't like writing, or you were being stagnant, and I was stagnant for a long time. And I've had moments where like I should have never been this stagnant. You got to wipe that from your brain. I'm not gonna feel bad about it. I did it, but now I have the ability to keep writing and to keep being creative, and just all I care about now is for my friends to hear what I'm doing, and they're like, "That's great, dude." And if anything more comes from that, awesome. And like I want people to hear it, but at the same time, I want to just be happy,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm happy doing this. And I think you're kind of the same way, man. I think you're the same way. Like, you want the masses to hear what we're doing, but at the same time, we just enjoy doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, listen, number one, that was the best like couple of paragraphs that
I appreciate
I've
that.
had on this thing. Incredible stuff.
I appreciate that.
So many things we could go into, but what I wanted to say was that I think there's a lot of people like us who were very serious about their music back in the day, and there's a longing. You know, there's a longing for several things. There's a longing for the creativity. There's a longing for when you're in a group with people that went through all these trials and tribulations. There's a world that you create together, and I think that anytime I get to spend back in that world, like when we went back and recorded a record in 2022 or whatever.
That's what I'm looking forward to now with my
Yeah.
guys. I want to do the same. What you've done, I want to do the same thing. I want that with my guys again. I feel the same way. Sorry.
Yeah, no. But just spending time in that world that you created, where you have all these inside jokes, and it's so fun. It's so fun being there.
Yes.
And honestly, the connection with those guys, and then the ability to still create at some capacity, that's the longing. The longing. The longing
That's
is
exactly
yeah.
right.
The longing is not to go out there and like be road dogs and run your life through the gutter like I did. The longing.
Do you ever think we were wrong? We were wrong in doing that.
No, I don't think so.
I agree with you, but it's like you actually see y'all were like y'all had your spot. We had ours, but it's like there was such a like runaround in Louisiana. They're like there was Meriwether. There were so many bands in Louisiana where like I think the only way it really works back then is if you were like the only band in the state. Then you're like, oh, that's the band. You cherry pick them out, and they are a thing, you know.
Yeah.
But we weren't like that. That was not our world. So we never understood that. So we have to get out of here. We have to go away. But unfortunately for us, for anyone who's ever considering touring, think about where you live. You lived in northern Louisiana, we lived in southern Louisiana. You're either going to Texas, which is its own, I live there now, it's its own journey if you want to get across it. Or we're going through like Mississippi, Alabama, north to Tennessee, or we're trying to get across to Georgia, or we're trying to get to the Carolinas. It's like to get across these areas. It's not like we lived in Pennsylvania. We're like, oh, we're gonna go to New York. We just hit it up. 2 hours away, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We had this like long, arduous trek through college towns at the time, which we still lived on that world of like college towns. Like that's where we are gonna make our bread and butter, which sometimes really worked.
Yeah. Yeah, you developed that network.
Yeah, I don't regret it at all. I look back on it now, I was like, I wouldn't do it again. I would never do that again. Not like that.
Right.
Not like we did.
Yeah, that's insane. It's insane. I mean, it really is. But I have so many people that will tell me when it comes out of like what I did. So many people will say things like, "That's really cool that you guys did that." Because so few people get to experience something like that. And man, I agree. I think it was so unique. It cost me a lot. It cost me a lot personally.
Me too.
but that I'm, that sometimes you still pay for these things because of choices in life and how they work
Right.
out. But
Right.
ultimately, man, that time was so special, and man, I wouldn't trade it.
I wouldn't trade for anything either. It's the reason we are who we are. We agreed to do it because we were already that person and we did it. And I wouldn't change it for a bit either. Uh, it's it's magical, man. It's like there's moments in my brain that are like ether. Like, yeah, I did that. And I remember when it really hit when I was like touring, the first long tour. I was like, I don't know what day it is. The day is Dayton, Ohio. That's the day.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow it's, you know, Philadelphia. It's it's not Wednesday. It's
Mm-hmm.
not Thursday. It's not Friday. It's like
Yeah.
wherever you're going to be. And we were
Mm-hmm.
printing up, I don't know if y'all were doing that. We were printing up like MapQuest directions because there was like Tom Toms. There were no phones.
Right.
We had no GPSs. We were just like literally we had maps in every state.
Yep.
And I had the same thing too in y'all's van.
Mm-hmm.
We
We
had
did.
maps in every state.
Yeah.
Which like I remember one time getting so mad. We were in the middle of Alabama somewhere. I'm like, all right, we're gonna do this. That road don't exist anymore. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't. This is some new construction, and that road does not exist anymore. So I don't know how we're getting to where we're ever going to go.
It's crazy thinking about navigating the country like we did
I
with
know.
no GPS. I mean, I can't get to my daughter's school without GPS now.
I don't even try. Yeah, I don't even try to go anywhere. I'm just like, let's just see
Yeah.
what Waze tells me to do.
Right. Right.
Now, yeah,
I only follow their directions. I
yeah,
can't drive on my own. Yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't even try.
Uh,
But
well, listen. So I loved that story. I loved about
I
your
appreciate
dad.
that.
I
Yeah.
love that you are back writing. Man, I love the times we shared. I just tell these folks. I mean, what's your expectation? I mean, you're gonna put out some new tunes, right?
Yeah, so we all new tunes. We've been working on songs now. We're not rushing this. I think it's kind of just like let's get there when we can. Our drummer Austin lives in Nashville, and our old bass player from Tuesdays to Me, James, lives here in Houston with me, and we write. I'm writing constantly, but I think we're just taking it day by day and just seeing what we can do with it, and uh, just creating something really, really like important for us. And it's been this long already. It doesn't really matter how much longer it takes. Now with my brothers, I've been writing like quicker with Angular Rodeo, and I'm excited about that stuff too because it's more singer songwriter, like alt country type stuff, which is fun. Uh, but with the Mag Sons Tuesday debut stuff, we take it seriously. And we don't like. We're going back to the idea of there's no verse and chorus. It's part A, part B, part C, part D. You don't want to overdo part C. We're not overdoing it. Now, unless it needs it, we'll do it. But like we try to write things a little differently and don't oh, it's catchy. Well, you're not gonna do it too much. We'll actually like rein it back, which that crew was like that, and I love that again. We're actually thinking about writing it, and it's not just just whatever you think the verse, of course, like, well, this is the very catchy part. We should do this. I don't know. Maybe we only do that one time. And you say, well, why? Like, for anyone who's listening, uh, Big Mouth Strikes Again by the Smiths. Listen to that. It's a verse, chorus, verse. It's a verse and a chorus. And there's a guitar part by Johnny Marr that comes in that's played after the first chorus that never gets played again. I remember hearing that later in life and being like, that is exactly what our whole thing was. Like, and why? Well, you gotta listen to it. If you want to hear that guitar part again, you gotta listen to that song again.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that mentality. The idea of like, let's not get too caught up in what is catchy. Let's get caught up in like creating a piece of music that feels good to all of us in a fun way. And oh man, it's just been fun doing that again and thinking about it and being in contact with everyone again like regularly. Because also when you and I were doing this back in the day, there was no way for me to send a guitar part to the drummer who lives in Nashville. We had to mail that thing via CD, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll take them 2 weeks to get it, and hopefully they're still where they were at when we sent it.
Yeah.
Where now I can like email them immediately, or just not email. God, that even sounds worse. I can literally just drop it into Google Drive. They can pull it off in 30 seconds, upload it, work on it on their system, and send me a drum track back within the day.
Yeah.
And we can start doing that now. And I think it's something we're starting to mess with. And it's fun, man. It's just life is too short to not continue to have fun with your friends,
Yeah.
no
No,
matter
that,
how old you are. No matter how old you are.
yeah.
And I'm old and I have a professional job and like a 9 to 5, as you say, as we've all kind of found that. But like, I still, you know what? That's what my dad's dream was. This is how you remember. This is how you still have fun with your friends. This is how you can still be creative.
Yeah.
Remember to be creative. Remember to think about being creative. That's how I took it, and I state that it's like, and I grew up Catholic. I grew up very devoutly. I mean, it's like being struck down off your horse and just feeling this like, oh, this is the new the new norm. This is the thing. For anyone who ever has felt religion or anything like that, like that's for me my musically coming back to that, like, oh my goodness, like I've been doing this my whole life. I have to. It just struck me down in a way that I've never felt before in my life because it just felt so normal to me doing it until now. When that happened, I was like, I can't stop doing this the rest of my life. This is it,
Yeah.
and I have a good time doing it. And I'm glad and you have always been. You told me when I saw you before that ever happened. You're like, dude, like you're not writing anymore. Come on, man. A buddy of mine, Justin Osborne, who plays in the band Susto, I sang on on one of his songs on his last records, and I'm there, and his producer is like, Billy, you're not a rock star anymore. And I'm like, and I told him when I sang, I said, I don't know. I don't like that I said that, you know, because I think I was in that mode. I was in that mode, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was not ready to go back. Well, I was scared to go back. I was
Mm-hmm.
apprehensive to go back.
Mm.
I remember texting him later. I was like, not anymore, dude. I could still be a rock star.
Yeah.
I could still rock.
Mm-hmm.
I could still do the thing that I love to do. Uh, and so anyone who's out there who's never done it, and they're scared to do it, or anyone who has done it and has done it in a while is like, I wish I still did this. Just pick up the guitar and just try it. Like, don't be scared of it. I've been scared for a long time, and I had no business being scared of it.
Yeah.
Especially, you know. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I love it. I mean, it's so important. I think no matter how old you are, to keep tabs of that part of yourself,
Yeah.
to keep like fresh blood pumping into it, to keep the creative part of you going. Man, that's this. Our lives are fat. They're quick. Like and and to have these things that we enjoy doing. You said it struck you down, like came in a dream. It's like your subconscious was basically erupting, saying, "Man, you should be doing this." And if just for yourself, not for anybody else, not for fame, not for glory, but just
The
for
last dream,
yourself.
just to put it in perspective, the last dream I had of him, we were watching a dog at our house about 6 months before he passed away. The dream I had before him, or before this particular one I told, was he comes around the corner of my garage and says, I'm here to help you pick up dog poop. So I was like, what are you doing here? I thought you were dead. He's like, I'm here to help you pick up dog poop. That was the one before the one. So I'm like, but that was still rung true to me. I'm like, God, he's still with me.
Yeah.
He's still with me in this moment. But then for it to be that, for it to be the music thing as the last one, and that has been the last one. There's been no more dreams of him. I've had zero dreams of my dad vividly like that since then. And he and I just had a great relationship. To just like, we had this very I communicate with him very easily our whole lives. He's like my guy. And so I always thought it was kind of funny that I had the dog poop dream. I was like, that seems adorable to our relationship. But then for him to be like, you ready for this show? We never talked like that. So for him to show up like that and me wake up, I'm like, I gotta pick the guitar up. That was a sign from somewhere in my subconscious, in the deepest reaches of my lizard brain. It was pulled up, mixed in with my dad, mixed in with this like longing and sadness and loss and grief. All of a sudden, I'm like, everything clicked. I'm like, man, this is the thing I should have been. I knew I should have been doing it the whole time, but I was scared to do it. That gave me it opened the door and said, you don't need to be scared anymore. Swung it open, and it's just been like that since then. And so, and I'm like, but I'm old. I haven't written anything or recorded anything in years. Who cares, man? I'm trying to get you to text me as one of my best friends. Be like, that's one of the best songs I've ever heard. Like, that's where I'm at now, you and me. Like, and other friends like that. Friends of my musicians, or like fans of our old band who's like, dude, that's some of the best stuff you've ever written.
Yeah.
I do, and I know that I still got that in me.
Yes.
And
I
you
agree.
do too.
I
And
agree.
like, if that's where it's at, okay.
Yeah.
I can't, because like you were saying earlier, like to get in a room with with the boys and work through something and it'd be like, that's it. For anyone who's never written a song or tried to write a song, it feels like a maze. You're like, oh, I got this one part done, but you get to this other part, you're like, oh, that's the challenge. What's the bridge? Ooh, now it got real challenging. And when you finish the end of it, you're like, got it.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone, and if you've written it with other people, it's a joyous occasion.
Yeah.
When everyone's like, we did it. There is no better feeling of creativity when you do that with other people. It's amazing, and you know that. And anyone else ever written like that in a band, it's such a wonderful feeling.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to be back doing that again.
Yes.
It's the creative thing that I've been missing in my life, and I'll never let it go again because that's what it's all about. It's not really about playing shows like you're saying. It's not about touring. But I do want to play shows for people. I enjoy playing shows. But the idea of like driving to some far off distant land on a Tuesday in Ohio and playing a show for no one who knows they don't know who you are. No, but like I'm looking forward to the day where you and I play a show together again.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
All right, Billy. This is how you remember. This is how you remember. What a great line.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Man, I've really enjoyed this talk.
Me too, man. I really enjoyed it too. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I want to be here. I want to be there when you get it going again. I want to be there.
Yeah. I appreciate that, man.
All right,
Love
buddy.
you, buddy.
Great talking
Talk to you soon.
Too, man.
All right, buddy. All right, bye.